get it.
Alright, still very much a meta Athena crowd, but EnVyUs on the cusp of taking this set. And like you said, advancing onto that final map of the group. It would be a rematch of them versus X6 Gaming. You'd be damn sure that they want to go for that rematch and they want to come out with a victory this time around.
Yeah, and it feels like EnVyUs' story has just been hitting these teams, going the distance, going to the 5th game. Rematches abound as well. Perhaps they win this one, they get the win this time against X6, but we're not there yet. They will be on defense first. And Meta Athena shows Changshik on the Winston, so a surprising pick, though. You know, a lot of people might criticize how overall, in terms of his history, we've seen such aggressive play coming out from Alpha's Winston, his Reinhardt as well. But I feel like in this series overall, the synergy has been better, the follow-ups for his dive have been better for Meta Athena, and didn't really have much bad to say about his play tonight. So a surprising swap if they're going to run this. Obviously, this is attack. We'll see if things are different on defense.
For now, though, looks like they will be sticking through with this one. So just opting into the same exact comp that we've been seeing all night long. But will the swap over onto Changshik make the difference? He leaps onto the high ground, just zap it away where he can, but goes dangerously low and has to kite back. So far, payload not really moving, and Changshik's actually going to be the first one that dies as Coco finishes him off with a leap onto that high ground.
Losing that Winston battle already for sure here, as the Diva coverage is good coming out from Mickey. And it looks like this is going to be into this push. Nearly the kill on the Libero. Effect tracks it in. Chases him all the way into the spawn.
I mean, this is looking eerily familiar to me.
Yeah.
This forward position that EnVyUs is able to take up onto the high ground, just completely commanding the payload.
You have to break this, Changshik has to be your man. He has to have the really good dive, and the follow-up has to be good. CP steps in here first, it's going to be Hoon. Here comes the dive. Can they make it work this time? Early barrier comes down, but again, they concede the point.
It drops back down, but the payload moves up a little bit here, so they at least gain some ground, but getting it around this corner is going to be the difficult part, but getting rid of Coco is going to help open that up. As Hoon does go down, Taimu takes him out, and Changshik will fall. No tanky front line now for Meta Athena. Both supports dead, so just like that, EnVyUs, where things maybe look okay for Meta, they take hold of the reins and they take control of the payload yet again.
I mean, if they are going to use, if the reason they switched to Changshik is for this defensive setup on this map, they definitely want to have a much better attack than this. Obviously, we're still early on. They have 2.5 minutes, but they haven't accomplished much with this composition just yet. Not impressed as anyone, really, even the Meta Athena fans so far with this play. Here comes the pulse bomb.
No stick there for Saya players. Could have been such a crucial one, effect-esque. If he had landed that, could have got a multi-kill, but in the meantime, the nano visor coming through here from Taimu. He's just gonna fiercely drop down onto the low ground, but immediately regrets that one as the Transcendence is there. Now he's being hounded by the enemy. Robotic Field coming down to try to keep himself alive, but it's only about a matter of time. He'll get booped off, so his eyes were a bit wider there than his stomach. I don't know what the expression is.
I know what you're trying to say here.
His eyes were bigger than his stomach, his appetite, whatever.
Yeah, bit off a bit more than he could chew, some would say. But the push continues. Looks like they're going to grab this fountain cap fairly soon. Effect trying to change this, though. The immediate primal rage coming out here for Changshik.
Oh, Effect kills himself with the pulse bomb. That feels bad.
Yeah, feels bad, man, indeed. He's definitely had a few inconsistent ones this evening. The Saya player is looking for the pick. The Transcendence was used. Dragon Blade coming up right afterwards. He does secure this.
Libero trying to find the kill here. We'll get that final swipe through in on the Taimu, and just like that, with a dash onto Mickey to finish him off, will be the completion onto point A.
It was really about the high ground. Meta Athena struggled to take it for so long, and it was changed when we saw Taimu actually go onto the ground. His eyes were bigger than whatever you said, and he popped the tac visor too. And then that was where they lost control, when they lost that high ground. They held it for so long, but after that, Meta Athena had total control.
Saya player trying to sneak his way over for that pulse bomb. Won't be able to find it. The back off, the Discord orb comes through, so just keeping track of that tracer. A massive part of EnVyUs' defense and their success. Libero going back over onto the high ground, almost helps take out Chips, but he'll get burst back up as Changshik goes down yet again. We'll trade one on to Taimu as the fight continues. Libero dashing up here, takes out Chips, looks for Harry, and will be able to finish him off. So both supports being very easily handled by this Genji.
Yeah, this is pretty solid push coming out from Meta Athena. Saya picks up the kill onto Effect. It just feels like momentum has massively shifted here. Meta Athena getting the picks they're looking for, hurting that back line, popping onto the supports. So big ult lead right now for EnVyUs. They definitely want to use that to stop this checkpoint, or else the time bank is going to get a little bit out of control. See what's going to be first. Coco dives in, nearly has the primal rage, wants to accrue that here.
They get rid of Dust, attack visor yet again. The nano visor is out, but Libero straight into his face, cuts him down. But still, Effect coming up, comes up with that kill, takes out Hoon with that pulse bomb, follows up for Chungshik yet again.
He gets a triple
gets taken
there.
out, yeah, and he just, Effect is just ripping his way through.
Had that unfortunate pulse bomb earlier with the recall, self-destruct, if you will, of himself, but otherwise that was a pretty solid display there, knocking Hoon out of the mech, getting the pulse bomb kill. And they hold this with very few ultimates used because Effect did so well in that last fight. So they have a lot still in their war chest here for the defense. Ultimate economy in their favor as Meta Athena actually diving deep here with Saya player to look for some respawn kills.
Effect goes down. That's going to be a nice start here, but Dust does fall.
No one knew he was
coming through, and he's not going to go down. Forces out the Transcendence by Harry Hook to keep himself alive, and immediately drops down onto that low ground to top up the rest of the squad. Self-destruct out from Hoon, not going to find any kills, but Libero does take out Harry Hook after the Transcendence is over. So pushing back in helps take down the Genji. So
calm and collected was Taimu in that crisis scenario too, with Saya player behind him, just pops down his biotic field, waits for his teammates, calls him out, gets the heals, survives to take him out there. Saya player will actually take down Effect, however.
I mean, right now it's a really good-looking hold for EnVyUs. They got a lot of grounded Meta Athena after the initial picks came through, but this hold here in front of point B, in front of that final corner, has been looking very strong for them. It's less than a minute on the clock, 50 seconds, all that Meta Athena have. They're still a ways away from a sound barrier from that next Dragon Blade. Libero currently at 70%.
This is the hardest place to get caught too, because you have the longest walk back here in between these points before you get that checkpoint. Libero's about to have the Dragon Blade. It could be their opportunity here. Transcendence being popped early.
Yeah, they're trying to push forward here. Effect getting chunked out a bit. Now that Discord Orb coming through onto Coco as he tries to keep himself alive. Leaps to the other side. Meanwhile, Nanovisor's out as Chungshik goes down. Taimu just firing away yet again. Defense matrix there from Hoon to try to mitigate a lot more of that damage coming down.
There, though.
He'll go down. Yeah, they find the pick in on a Saya player. Taimu finding that one. The Helix Rocket's actually not even required to come up with that. They'll just go down from these shots from the auto attacks. Payload is moving up. Chris is trying to sneak this one along.
Yeah, he's trying to.
Getting back in onto that. Mech will be booping him off the point. Libero, Dragon Blade needs to be the trump card here for their success to get this completed. It's now into overtime. Mickey just trying to push them off as best as possible. Chungshik goes down. Didn't have a primal rage to try to buy more time for themselves. Overwatch is taking down. Dragon Blade dragged out. Chips will find the kill with the biotic grenade, and that's going to be it. 89 meters from point A is how far Meta Athena will make it. And now Envy, all they need to do is effectively go to point B, and the set is theirs. They'd be moving on to face X6.
They're so close, they could taste it. And it was about high ground control. Chungshik, the swap from Alpha, subbing him in here. The Winston play, not as inspiring, to be honest, so far. Discord Orb usage, always picking him off early in those fights, really well done. And Taimu oftentimes was dove upon, but it was funny because you would see Taimu in these situations where he's got a Tracer on his back, a Tracer and a Winston, and he survived consistently. The crisis management was good. Mickey came over to save him. Harry had come over to save him there, Chips as well, and suddenly this dive just felt like it failed when they couldn't kill Taimu. He got back onto the high ground. It was kind of a rinse and repeat defense for EnVyUs. So let's see here. Meta Athena, at least from what they're showing so far, wants to run the Mei defense potentially here. We've seen Libero do this on Dorado before, as Taimu looks pretty happy with himself, but we were really expecting that it might be Hoon Zarya coming out, and if he doesn't pick it, it's definitely going to leave a lot of scratching heads as to why they subbed Alpha out here. It just doesn't make sense yet.
He's still running the Diva, so I think that we're just going to see this, and I mean, Meta Athena right now is basically doing what we saw Envy do on Sanctum with Mickey playing the Torbjorn, except now they can't swap it. Chungshik is in. You can't put Alpha back in. You only get the one swap. So they committed to this like Mickey committed to Torbjorn, and it is not paying off.
No, definitely not. Saya player's going to play Soldier here to try to give Taimu perhaps a taste of his own medicine here from the high ground. It's going to leave them Tracerless, but they will have Libero on the Genji, so kind of a different way to run the Soldier, having your backline diver be the Genji instead of the Tracer. Definitely not as mobile, doesn't have as much escapes, and Effect has been crushing Libero in terms of 1v1 when they face each other, so a little bit worried about this defensive setup here for Meta Athena.
I mean, you see Mickey and Coco immediately going up onto the high ground, just trying to spot out Meta Athena, see where they're posturing, see what the comp is going to be. So they get those call-outs immediately. And now EnVyUs starts playing up around this payload, where it's already moving because so many members are set back on top of these buildings. They can't drop to the low ground to contest, and the rest of the team gets picked off. Chungsik and Nuss both going down. And Effect just wreaking havoc, dashing his way up here to try to disrupt Saya player.
Already is so much more of a strong attack coming out from EnVyUs. It's the triple here now when you consider Hoon's knocked out of the mech, and it was a immediate dive in coming from Chungsik. He was targeted, he was discorded, he was killed. Chips turns his attention immediately to Nuss, gets that kill as well, and they are just shoving this hard. We even see the swap from Saya player as he realizes this Soldier play is not going to cut it when they don't have as much peel, when Chungsik is diving instead of protecting him defensively. Hoon's still not that experienced on the Zarya.
Effect actually surprisingly giving away his positioning. Will be dashing in, trying to find a kill in onto Chungsik, who has been proven to be the weak member. Throws out the pulse bomb, finds Chris with it. Coco goes down, but Chungsik and Hoon both going down as he gets popped out of that mech. Harry has the boop to kill him, and Taimu looking for that final shot on Libero. Won't quite find it, but Harry's there to pick up the pieces, and point A has already been achieved. 5 minutes and 5 seconds now on the clock here for EnVyUs. 89.3 meters, all that they need to win this set.
Chungsik finds himself an easy target against Taimu's DPS as well. When he dives in like that, he's got the stun, he has the Discord to help burn the tank down, so I think that's part of the problem here is we see harassment coming in from Libero, forcing Taimu back, but he gets protected. They're going to dive deep, but Taimu just retreats, gives up the point, and look at how much damage he's able to get here. Stays on the high ground, gets another headshot. Oh my god,
Wraps
Taimu!
around.
How many times this evening are we going to see this?
Deadeye comes through, finds a drop-down kill onto Hoon as he gets knocked out of the mech into the baby form. Flashbang down, looking for Libero, can't quite find that final shot, but a Harry Hook yet again is there to scoop up the Genji. The team kill completed by EnVyUs, and the payload is moving at such an accelerated rate.
You know, midair
will die, but whatever.
Midair Deadeye Taimu here, just casually. He's the only one who doesn't have an ultimate here for EnVyUs to secure this push. Hoon so close to that ultimate here. The self-destruct to buy time. He doesn't have it yet. He will likely for this final hold, but there's so much time for EnVyUs if they can bait it out. They'll have such a massive advantage. Here we go. Taimu looking for picks here. The self-destruct comes out first actually for Mickey.
Keeps himself safe, dashes away, and Nutt's going to be the first one that goes down. Coco leaps in, finds the kill. Taimu eventually gets rid of the Genji. Effect goes down to the self-destruct by Hoon, but there's still such a man advantage here for EnVyUs. Now with that sound barrier down, just mitigating all the DPS output coming through from the side of Meta Athena. Taimu just get picked off as Chungsik leaps his way back in, but Saya player goes down. One of the biggest delay tactics that Meta has available for them is taken out, and now the Discord Orb here onto the Monkeys. He just desperately tries to leap in. Will be saved, but it's at the cost of the Transcendence, and there's still 3 minutes 15 on the clock here for EnVyUs. So even if they don't get it on this push, it's so likely that they get on the next one because it's only 6 meters left to go.
Miracle hold here so far for Meta Athena. Effect does pick off Chungsik on his way out. He should be there for the next fight, but that was razor thin the hold. And as you said, so many ultimates used. Transcendence baited out. The Dragon Blade for Libero, who actually really carried that fight kind of on his back here, but EnVyUs has so much time to build ultimates. They have nearly the Deadeye.
Hello, is anybody on this payload right now?
Okay, close call there.
It had a little bit of distance from the rollback, so they actually pretty much high up where it was before that fight was lost.
Again! And this is, man, you probably just don't even want to try to pick him off at this point.
I would just leave Taimu alone if I was side player. Yet again, the flashbang comes through, the headshot registers, and the team wide nearly completed. That should be it. Libero booped off. There it is. EnVyUs find the victory, 3-1 as they win on Dorado. They're going to be moving on to the final match of the group. They're going to face off against X6 Gaming, like you say, the rematch.
The rematch, man. They won the first rematch here against Meta Athena. This time much cleaner than in the group stage where they needed the reverse sweep. We definitely saw flashbacks of the failed Dorado play from Meta Athena. They didn't switch it up. They didn't go Route 66, which I feel like would have been a smart choice against the lack of dive on the side of EnVyUs when they had high ground control there. And, you know, we saw a solid defense. Taimu was the hero of this series, though. The accuracy on the McCree, good positioning, always on the Soldier. Mickey protecting him. You know, Mickey was several times at the beginning of the series focusing on dealing with Saya player. He was chasing the Tracer, he was being very aggressive, which is one of the weaknesses of Mickey as a D.Va player. He's very aggressive because they don't have a Genji player, so he serves as kind of a pseudo secondary dive hero that comes in with the Winston, with the Tracer when they dive onto these targets. But towards the later part of this series, they moved back. It was more protecting Taimu, which worked really well for them. And it was just Taimu carrying fights again and again and again. And you know, at the end there, when I saw a Saya player come around to Taimu, before it even happened, I know you probably felt it too, just we were waiting for that stun to come out, and then boom, the headshots. So many, even since Numbani, we were seeing that happen. And when your dive hero that's designed to get in the back line and kill that DPS is being consistently killed by the DPS itself, you gotta respect that skill. You gotta respect Taimu here.